Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to a brand new PSGL video, this time round number 3 around Silverstone, and we're heading out for our first lap in Q1. As many of you guys might know, Silverstone is a terrible track for me. I love this track in real life, and I was great at it in real life, but for whatever reason on the F1 game, I'm just terrible at it. I did win F1 Esports here back in 2023, but I got pole position on a drying up track, so that's perhaps not quite a good representative result. But yeah, as you can see, we are 2 points behind Otis Lawrence after 2 rounds, and actually both of those points came from pole positions. So yeah, it would be really unfortunate if we end up after 14 races losing the championship due to pole position points. But yeah, we just need to make sure we get far enough ahead, so that's not an issue. Yeah, actually quite a fun calendar coming up. Zandvoort after this, which in qualifying I've struggled over the past few years as well. Only time I went out in Q1 last year in F1 Esports was around Zandvoort. So I've got some work to do there when it comes down to qualifying. But yeah, let's see what we can do here today. Q1. We're using the hardest compounds available. So not a lot of tire wear from these tires, but at the same time a lot of high-speed corners. So that balances it out a little bit again. And yeah, we cannot count out rain as well. Last year PSGL was wet around here. F1 Esports was dry, but yeah, quite likely to rain around Silverstone, just like in the rest of the UK. But yeah, let's see what we can do here. Q1, walk qualifying should be dry into turn 1, 8 gear. Some people, I think, might use 7 gear. I think both are viable options, depending a little bit on setup and ERS usage. Through the first section, that was quite good, quite on the limit. A little bit of a moment on the exit, but that's kind of what you want to be on the limit on this game. Otis Lawrence goes to provisional P1 here in Q1 with a 25.158. And yeah, let's see if we can perhaps beat that. We're gonna need probably a top 4, top 5 if we want to stay in here after this lap to save a set of tires for Q3. As we head through Cops, easy flat out on the F1 game, and now into Maggots and Baggets, which is nearly all the way flat out until this left-hander is a slight lift and this right-hander is pretty much a full lift. Into the final sector, a 101.902. That split is probably not good enough to beat Otis Lawrence 25.1, but let's see if we can get at least a top 5 here. That would be lovely, so we can at least save a set of tires. Into the final 2 corners we go, a little bit wide, a little bit low on minimum speed. Decent exit. I've just been struggling a lot with that last corner exit as we go P5. I think I'm staying in after that because it felt like a good lap. And yeah, as you can hear me say there, I'm staying in after that lap. It was P5, I was the last one to set a lap there, but we only made it through by 1.4 hundredths. P14 though, but a bit close for comfort. Freddie managed to go through on a single set of tires as well, but he went quite a bit faster than me. So he ended up in P6. And now, next up Q2. And that lap felt quite good I did there. So that's a little bit worrying. You know, if you do a bad lap and you're P14, then it's okay. But if you feel like you do a good lap and you're down in P14, it means there's not a lot of potential in my driving style or the setup or a combination of both as through the final corner we go. This is U-Star, so it's not the end of the world. We had a mistake there. But yeah, that was the difference between P1 and whatever that was on used tires, but it doesn't matter too much. New tires, and on the exit of Maggots and Baggets, we're 1.5 tenths up. And let's see where this is going to bring us. 1.5 tenths is not a lot for new tires relative to used tires, but of course we had a mistake in the last corner. And as I said before, hardest compounds available, so the drop-off is not going to be as big. To the final corner we go, and you can see that's a huge gain, well over a tenth. And we only go P10 there. So yeah, we're gonna need something here in this final Q2 lap if we want to make it through into Q3. I was thinking about changing the setup just out of desperation because, yeah, again, I was at my limits. I was pushing like crazy, not making a lot of mistakes. I just struggled to get performance out of the car. But as we go on the exit there, that didn't even look great. I was well over the limit on the slip angle, but we somehow gained 700s. Track improving as well, of course. We just cannot afford any mistakes. Bit of a moment there on the exit of Brooklands. And now, long exit, imported exit, a little bit under the limit perhaps. But we are 1/10 up. And that 1/10 might make the difference here at the very end of Q2. Through Cops we go. Early on the overtake button. And now into Maggots and Baggots. Again, such an easy section to make a crucial mistake. You can see the cars on the limit. It constantly wants to snap away. And we get a fraction of an improvement as we head over sector 3 line. We actually lost a bit of time there. Perhaps a bit of a timing or delta mistake there. Into stall we go. 1.5 improvement. And now into the final corner we're going to go. This is crucial if you want to make it into Q3. We're down in P13 at the moment. Make that P14. 1.7 tenths up. And we make it through. In 5th place by 7/100ths. Decent margin, but we gained 700ths in those final 2 corners. We probably would have been out. Or just about would have made it through, but a little bit too close for comfort there. So yeah, Q3 it is. And we've got 2 new sets of tires as well, you know. So again, I didn't expect a pole position here. I even told Chet I will do a striptease if I got pole position. But that split is good. Into the final sector, our teammate Freddie Rasmussen goes to provisional pole position with a 1:24.77. Through stall we go. This could be enough for provisional pole position. Into the final 2 corners we go. Good apex. And now all we need is a good exit. Early on power. Unfortunately, we bottom out on the exit curve. And that definitely cost us quite a
curve on the last corner.
Bit of time. Now, the second last corner was great. And the exit was good as well. It's just that I bottomed out on this outside curb. Used too much of the track available. And now it comes down to the final lap. Let's see if we can somehow find more time. We need a 10th for provisional pole. We're probably going to need more for the actual pole position. Into turn 1 we go. Into the first braking zone we go, I should say. And instantly green on the delta. Let's see if we can keep that on the exit. Early on the power. Good exit. And we've gained 100. Just over 100 as this long straight carries on. Into sector 2 we go. Late on the brakes. And again, we're just not gaining much to the delta. It's just like it's glued to 0, 0, 0. 200s up as we've got a slightly worse exit than on our delta. Let's see if we can gain some more through Maggots and Baggots. Now remember, our split was not bad at all. It was the last corner where there's more time. At least a 10th if we nail it. Into Maggots and Baggots we go. Flat out on the right. Small lift on the left and a big lift for the right. There's someone facing the wrong direction there as we now head into sector 3. We're half a 10 up on our delta. Into stall we go. We're down in P7 at the moment. Thomas Ronhaar won't improve. So if we improve just 300s, we get that position already. Into the final braking zone we go. Late on the brakes. Bit too early in the turn in. Let's see if we can get a good exit. It's not bad. It is not great. But we gain time. 700s improvement. And it is P4 on the grid. Yeah, I mean, realistically, if I did that final corner a little bit better, we would have not even gotten P3. We just didn't have the pace for pole. And I think I kind of got the maximum out of it that I could today. So yeah, let's see what we can do in the race. And as you can see, it is a full wet start to the race. We're still going to be starting on the intermediates though. But I was not too happy with this, to be honest, because it's so hard to overtake around Silverstone already. The wet makes it even harder. There's no DRS. You struggle a lot more with dirty air because of the lower grip conditions. We got Danny Beresny straight away down our inside. I nearly run into the back of my teammate there. And yeah, Freddie just leaving us the space just in case we had to fend off Danny there. I decided not to use the space because I felt like we had it anyway on the inside there. But we keep P4 here at the start. Teammate Freddie in P3. And Barry Borman in P1 with pole position, so he will be getting 1 point for that. And now it's gonna be really hard to overtake here. We're gonna have to do it off mistakes. At the same time, we're behind Freddie. He's most likely not gonna be making any mistakes. As I say that, he runs wide with a ton of understeer. But yeah, it's a high-speed section, so even if someone makes a mistake in a high-speed section, you just end up closer and you just end up getting more dirty air. So it's really difficult. You can see we're 6 tenths behind. Danny Beresny behind us is 8 tenths behind. It's just a 6-7 tenth gap, but up ahead, P1 and P2 going at it. I think there was some contact there, so that could be interesting if that goes to the stewards. Yeah, let's see what happens there. But for now, opening lap, I'm just going to be sitting back because there's not much we can do at the moment after the opening lap. And after 11 laps, you see dry line has started to form, but it's still raining quite hard. So it's starting to look like this is going to be a full wet race to the end. Barry Borman boxes though, the end of lap 11. More people box behind us. You can see that Danny Beresny boxing as well. He was behind us, so they're going for the undercut.
So hold off with pitting until I let you know.
And we just decided to stay out because we felt like it was not worth it. And the thing is as well, you know, we don't know what the conditions are going to do. The tire wear might increase, and then you might end up in a position where you have to go for two-stop. Now, on some tracks that's not too bad, but Silverstone is a 25+ second loss in the pits. I think it's 27 or 28. I don't remember exactly. It changes sometimes year on year. But that is huge. And that's why I just didn't want to take the risk. Because if we end up in a position, it's going to be 0 points. And we cannot afford that. If we somehow ended up losing an extra position because people undercut us and they took that risk, it's okay. But as I actually run wide in cops, that's our first track in the morning. Right? But I just didn't want to take that risk, and neither did Liam. So we decided to stay out. We're 1 second behind Freddie, 2.3 behind Otis.
I found first morning, and I'll let you know. I'll pit him later on.
So, yeah. Still 1 second behind Freddie. Not much is changing. And now the interesting thing is going to be, is Otis going to be boxing straight away to cover off the undercut? He is. And honestly, I was kind of happy with this. Thomas behind us, 1.3 seconds. Nicholas Longate, 2.1 seconds behind us. So now Freddie and me are both released into clean air. Freddie can push hard however you want, and I need to try and keep up, of course. Usually I'm a little bit slower than Fred on the wet. At least the last game, that was the case. Not much has changed since then. You can see we've extended the gap to Nicholas Longate quite a lot behind us. Freddie boxes at the end of lap 16. We go for one more lap. Full push as Freddie sets the fast lap of the race, going into the pits. And now we need to just push as hard as we can to minimize the undercut others are going to get on us. And that's what we've been doing the past few laps, just flat out pushing. Now we're only going to be doing a 9-lap stint.
Right, so if we pit this lap, we'll have around 70 to 80 at the end. So I think this is a good lap, Jano.
70 to 80?
Yes, safe one.
Can we not go another one then?
You can go another one if you want to.
And yeah, this is the tricky part. This is the guesswork.
We're going to get undercut by Thomas anyway. We're not going to get undercut by anyone else.
Right. Yep.
We are struggling with, because
Wait, did Fred come out that much ahead of Thomas?
I'll let you know 1 second.
And yeah, just discussing there what the best pit lap is going to be, because if the tire wear is going to be that high, then we might want to do another lap. But if it isn't, we want to box now, so we get
Fred came out 2.3 out of Thomas.
so we get the full potential of the new
box now.
tire. But at the same time, Thomas only boxed end of lap 15, and we don't want to get undercut ideally, because there's going to be such little tire advantage for us. So we're boxing now to cover off Thomas, who's on undercut. And
So we'll probably be tight on exit.
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I decided to box this lap and not go one more. Even though it might be tricky with tire, but imagine the guys that box lap 11, they are going to have no tires left near the end, if the tire wear is that high. So that is the tricky part we're playing with right now. We do not know how much it's going to dry up. So yeah, it's just guesswork at the moment. But let's see there. Thomas sets the fast lap of the race at 37.333. We come out of the pits side by side with Danny Bresny, actually, who boxed end of lap 11. I straight away had a little look down the inside. I decided to back out because I felt like I was not far enough alongside there to really get space. But now we
Nice.
get the move done. We got 6 lap fresher tires, then Danny. We have no battery though. But this is great. We got a nice little gap to push into, so we don't have a lot of dirty air. At the same time, we got Danny behind us at the
6
moment.
laps to Tommy, 5 laps to Otis.
Are they
Two
making it
cars
to the end,
left.
do you think so? Or no chance?
No.
And yeah, end of lap 21 now. We had Danny behind us at the time, but yeah, he boxed so early, lap 11, that he had to tire save to make it to the end a lot. Yeah, of course, he could try and defend for his life against the likes of me, Thomas, Julian behind, but you just end up not scoring points if you do that. As tough as it is, you sometimes just end up in a scenario where you're better off not giving up, but giving up a position to save 2 positions in the end, you know. Especially if you are fighting for a championship, sometimes that's better. But now, start of lap 22, 1.5 seconds behind Freddie Rasmussen. We've gotten past Barry, who's running into the same issue as Danny there. Just has to save tires. Can't fight too hard. So we have to close this gap a little bit. But Otis only boxed 1 lap later than Barry. So let's see what we can do here in the final 4.5 laps. Freddie is right behind him. Freddie's got 1 lap older tires than us. 2 laps to go. And as you can see, it's starting to really dry up now. But I think the tire wear is not as bad as us and most other people expected. And that's why the likes of Barry, Danny, but also Otis are making it to the end of this race. It just hasn't been as dry as most people expected. So 2 laps to go. And because Freddie ahead of us, who's got only 1 lap older tire than us. So again, I also didn't want to...
or something.
I didn't want to attack him because that might screw up his ERS management and also his attack on Otis, which then will cost us a position in the end. So I just didn't want to
Otis is quite low on the ERS consistently.
attack Fred here, just so he could
is
do
he
his
on
thing and try and get past Otis. And then we can go for a move once
30.
that's done.
Okay, then we need to go for it before we run out of time.
And yeah, as you can hear me say there, we're starting to slowly run out of time here because at the end of this lap, we're only going to have 1 lap remaining. But it's just so difficult to follow around here. We've got a 2.5 tenth gap, but Freddie was 2 tenths, 1.5 tenths behind, which increases dirty air so much. And not the slipstream, as I've said many times. So that's the difficult thing. Getting past, even though we've got such a big tire advantage, it's just not easy. Fred's setting up the exit nicely there. Yeah, I'm just still not pushing too hard because there's no point. I'm sitting on a 100% battery. We cannot do anything more at the moment, really. You can see Fred again. When he gets close, just understeering wide because of the dirty air. So yeah, it seems like both of us are stuck here in P2 and P3, unless Otto's tires really drop off or if he gets a puncture. It doesn't seem like we can do much at the moment, so all we can do is hope Fred somehow gets the move done, and we're just gonna sit back and pray.
Does Fred know he's low on battery?
Yep.
And you can see we're so close, but we just can't do anything. We just have to wait and be patient and hope Fred somehow manages to get past. And then we've got 100% battery pretty much. We're 80 through cops, but yeah, I think Otis at this point was on like 10% or 15% battery, so he had nothing left. But then we go into maggots and baggots, and there's so much dirty air. Not much you can do. So yeah, you just gotta sit back now and hope that Fred still makes a move into Stowe, which he can't. He's not close enough. So now I've got one final trick up my sleeve. As we head through Stowe, I decided, you know what? We're gonna drive into the pits here to try and get this race win in the pits. We managed to just about slow the car down enough to not get a 10-second penalty, and we're gonna come across the line to win.
It fucking worked!
Well done. GG's.
No way!
By
That's a new one.
8/1000ths of a second,
Oh
we
my
have
God.
won this race in the pit lane. But unfortunately, the PSGL stewards decided not to give us the win because they decided it was not fair. Even though nothing stated in the rulebook that it was not allowed to pit on the last lap, they still decided to give a penalty. Again, fairly questionable, but got to be used to it at this point. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Again, only 4 races ago, we got a 10-second penalty for getting straight lined. Now we're getting a 3-second penalty, which drops us to P4. For entering the pits on the last lap, they decided it was not fair, which obviously is bullshit. Fairness is based on the rulebook they create themselves. So, yeah, it is what it is. Should we be surprised? No, we shouldn't, considering penalty obviously given by a head steward that, you know, was talking shit about me in the past on F1 Esport live streams, and we've seen a number of shit decisions over the past few years from that guy. But yeah, can't win them all. But yeah, just gonna be more motivated in the next few races to win. Sorry, this video was a little bit late. I already pre-recorded, or didn't pre-record, but I recorded the voiceover, and then I was gone over the weekend because I was recording a YouTube video, quite a big one. So yeah, because I did the voiceover where I said I didn't get a penalty because I didn't expect to get a penalty for something that is not stated in the rule book. But yeah, again, classic kryptonite. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.